Welcome to Subscription Prescription, the podcast where you get the information you need to scale your subscription program. If you've been paying attention to the news, then you know that costs are rising everywhere, especially as they affect your business. For subscription businesses especially, this means increased fulfillment fees, parcel costs, the cost of shipping, and thinning margins. And with the new tariffs that are going in effect in Mexico, this could mean price increases of 15 to 35%. With the changes to USPS Select, your delivery costs could be going up as much as 25% or higher. In order for your brand to survive, you need a scalable commerce platform partner who can adapt to these changes and shift your shipping and fulfillment needs where it makes the most sense for your business. And that is precisely what Stored does every day for their partners. Stored is a partner of this program, and in 2024, they saved their customers $130 million on shipping costs and were responsible for 1% of all deliveries that happened as a result of Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. They have the infrastructure and integrated platform to help you scale in 2025 and beyond. But don't take my word for it. They just rolled out an incredibly in-depth mystery shopping report. You can go to their website, put in your site, and get a report back that compares you to two of your competitors so you can see some of the key differences between what they're doing and what you could be doing. Real actionable insights based on industry benchmarks. To request your report, go to stored.link/mystery so that you can take the mystery out of your fulfillment and figure out how Stored can take you to the next level this year and beyond. Hello and welcome to another dose of Subscription Prescription. I'm your host, Matthew Holman. This is the podcast where we try to help you figure out everything related to D2C subscriptions. And I'm really excited today to be joined by the founder of Learning with Kelsey, Kelsey Cook. Kelsey, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. When I first heard about your brand from our good friend Trevor Crump last year, I think the brand, what you're actually putting in the boxes is so cool. So I would love, you mind telling everybody, let's start with just what is Learning with Kelsey? What are subscribers getting from your monthly subscription boxes?
Okay, so Learning with Kelsey is a box that you will get every month, and in it has activities to do with your kid. So we have a toddler box, a preschool, a kinder prep, and then a craft and a sensory box. And it's basically just 20 activities that are hands-on and fun. That have a monthly theme. So, we love holidays over here. So like
Right.
a Valentine box, a March St. Patrick's Day, and it comes with all the supplies, all the instructions, everything that they need. They just open up the box and go.
I feel like with our 14-year-old, I wish I had heard about you about 3-4 years ago. She's just now kind of graduated out of feeling like she needs to have her hands in something to calm down. So like the sensitivity boxes, when I've seen those, I'm just like, oh yeah, that like a younger daughter would have died to have those.
I know, even me, when I'm like prepping, I'm like, wait, this is actually really fun. I love playing with this.
Oh, it's fantastic. So I'd love to hear more about how did you get into it? Like, where was the inspiration for the idea? I mean, because it's not necessarily like, hey, here's a Harvard Business School idea, a kinder prep subscription box, right? So how did that start for you?
So I was originally a teacher. I taught third grade and kindergarten in public schools. And then when I had my first baby, I stayed home for a year. And then I was like so jealous of teachers because I love teaching. And I would like drive around and like see elementary schools on the first day and be like, I wish I was there. But I also really wanted to be home with my baby. So I started teaching preschool out of my house, kind of just with my friends. And then it kind of got picked up and I would get new people, neighbors, whatever. And I taught for 3 years and then we had COVID happen. So that kind of derailed everything. I had to shut down preschool. But I love school. And so like, I was like, they're missing out on the April, May, all the fun activities. So I put bags together with the activities in them and would leave them on my front porch for their moms. So their moms would come pick them up and then do the activities at home with them. And I just had like a few moms start sharing on Instagram what they were doing. And at that point, everyone was kind of like, what do we do with our kids at our house? You know, so they're
Exactly.
like,
How do
where
we
do I
keep them
get
busy,
that?
entertained? Yep.
So I started putting more out for other people that were messaging me. And then someone in a different state was like, well, could you mail it to me? And I was like, well, I guess I could. So I like put them together in a bag and mailed them. And then I just kind of realized like, because I've done teaching so much, I know what to do at home with my kids. And then I realized that's really not like a natural thing for
Right.
people.
Right.
And so, and I realized like having my own child, even as a teacher, like those 5 years before kindergarten are like, you feel like it's all on you, you know, like,
Hmm.
how do I prep them? What do I do? So I realized people really needed it. So I kind of just turned it into this box and then it's just kind of scaled from there, which has been really crazy.
I don't know how has it been like trying to figure out. I mean, I have so many questions. First, I love that story. I actually felt like I was reading like you were telling me a little bit of a Hollywood script because it's like,
I know
yeah, and
it's
then this
really,
happened, and then this happened, and this happened. Because there's so many people out there that are struggling. Like we had this idea. Obviously, you've had roadblocks and things that
oh
have been
yeah.
hard and stuff along the way. It's not like it's been a breeze. But I'd love to hear from you. What has it been like figuring out like Shopify and selling online and all that stuff? Like, what have been some of the things that have either blown you away or once you figured out were easy? Like either side of it of the coin.
Yeah. I feel like the first, like figuring out Shopify and like making a website was like crazy to me. I've never done anything like that. So it was like, I tell everybody Google is my best friend. Like Googling,
Yeah,
how do I do this? How do I do that? You know, and I'm kind of a person that like if I want to do it, I'm just gonna figure it out. So I'm just like, how do I do a business? Sort of
right.
felt like, but like learning how to like sell has kind of been the harder thing for me because it's I like the teaching side, I like this side, but realizing like, okay, it's worth it to put money into this.
Right.
It's scary, you know,
Right.
when you're building a business, but we've been really lucky that my boxes have funded us as we've gone because people are buying for the next month, you know?
Right.
So I've been able to just slowly build it and then when it was time to scale, I had like the capital to be able to scale it. So that's been really
Right.
helpful to me.
Yeah, because I mean, it's different when you're getting people that are just reaching out, asking you for it. You make a
Yeah.
decision to make it a business. Well, now you have to figure out how you're going to sell it to more people and make it
Yes.
more
Yes.
economical. More because because Noah, your husband just left his full time job to join the
Yes.
business full
Yes. He
time, right?
just quit it
Yeah,
last month. So
that's awesome.
it's incredible.
Yeah,
It's I
you
would
guys
have
are all you guys are all
never
in.
like as a teacher, I would have never like even thought this was a possibility.
It's life changing. It's life
Yeah.
changing.
Yeah.
So what do you find like from you? How much time do you spend getting feedback? Because like early on, obviously you had these moms, they're in your neighborhood,
Yeah.
and you kind of know. So how much of it, and you already as a teacher know what you want to put in. So how much of like learning with Kelsey each box is about? Because it's everybody keep in mind these are different boxes every time. So it's not like it's
Yes.
just a single product. She's curating a new box every month.
Mhm.
How much of it is just your intuition and your experience? How much of is it feedback? And what kind of interactions are you getting from clients that's helping to inform the business?
I feel like in the start, it was basically all just my experience because I did the preschool. I had kind of designed my own curriculum for preschool when I taught it in my house. So I had already been doing all these activities. So I used that as my baseline. But then as I like did the preschool box, I know because I started with only preschool and I
Okay.
noticed like, okay, there's a lot of little kids that are kind of wanting to join in or moms that are saying, well, can my 2-year old do it? And I thought, okay, no, they can't. So I heard that side of it and was like, okay, we need a toddler box. We need something for that younger age. And that honestly ended up being
Hmm.
that's our biggest box every single month is the toddler box. And that came strictly
Right.
from feedback from people. So
I love that. Yeah, and I mean, as you know, 9 weeks old right now, my
yes, you're
little
almost
Mac.
ready.
So when he's almost going to be a customer, well,
Yeah,
we'll be a
you're
customer
a year
for
and a
him.
half. I'll send you one.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I did get some sample boxes and gave them to some parents in my neighborhood that
I
really
love
liked
that.
them,
I love that.
actually. But okay, so what have been some of the obstacles for you? What have been some of the really hard things to figure out that's taken time, blood, sweat, tears, things that you wish you could go back and tell your younger self, like, hey, here's the solution.
Yeah, I feel like my number one hardest thing is just like hiring the right people.
Mm,
Um that's such a hard thing, especially when I had built it on my own, you know, that it feels so scary to like give up control, but also I was like my husband just quit. So I was doing it on my own. It was really,
Right.
really overwhelming. And so being able to hire the right people and then being able to say, okay, this isn't working out. I don't, that's also something that's been really hard for me too. But
Right. I think that's hard for
hiring,
all of us, honestly.
yeah, it's like, I hate to have those conversations, but hiring the right people is also why I'm successful. I feel like
Right.
my team is incredible, and the people that I've kept with me and have worked with me have grown with me. And when it's a small business, it's kind of scary because I'm like, I can't offer you what another
Right.
bigger company could, but if you can see the potential, it's worth it. And so that has been really great. Another thing is just, this is probably the girl in me, but getting negative feedback is really hard for me.
Yeah.
So like, and again, I think because like I've designed it and it's so personal to me that when I see like a mean comment,
And
I'm
you
like,
care so much. Like you're
yeah,
building these boxes because you love it. And it's not
yeah,
just like a
yeah,
dollar grab for you. Yeah.
yeah. So when I see, I had to, my husband was like, you got to stop doing customer service like a year into it, because I would be like, this is
Yeah.
nobody wants a box. And he's
Yeah.
like, it's one person, like
Right.
pass that off to someone else. So
Right.
when I finally did that, I was like, okay, I don't have login information to the customer service email. It's much better for me.
I mean, that's a great point. And I mean, because it's funny because a lot of content and a lot of like the advice out there is to get deeper into your customers and get more of that. And I think that's still true. And
Yeah.
I feel like you're still doing that. But if you start to personalize everything, then that can become counterproductive. But it's always this fine line, I feel like, where you want to learn if there's a mistake. Was there
Yes.
something bad about the unboxing experience? Or
Yeah.
was there something, defective in the product we put in? But at the same time, like, you have 99 people over here telling you that they love it, and this one loud voice telling you it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Like
Yes.
you have
Yes.
to be able to
And
kind
it's
of
always the
join
loudest,
that.
that's what's hard.
It really is. It really is. And honestly, and it's been really exciting since we've met to see so much growth in your program and continue
Yeah.
to acquire and expand. What's something that you feel like has been like really effective for you? Is it having different box lengths? Is it some of the marketing efforts? What are some of the things you feel like have really unlocked growth for you, especially in the last year or two?
Yeah, I feel like in the last year, it's definitely been our marketing agency that we worked with. They are really, really good at Instagram and Facebook ads, and that has really helped us. Because I
Absolutely.
kind of always felt like, wow, we have something so great, but how do people not know about it? How do I help them? And I'm
Right.
not savvy in that. I don't know. And so finding this team that's worked with us so well, I think that's been astronomical for our growth.
Absolutely. And for anybody who's wondering, that's Trevor Crump and Bestie Media. That's
Yes, they're the
actually
best. I
how
love
Kelsey and I met.
Bestie.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. Is there
Yeah.
anything else for you around like either like, because I know you've got downloads, you've got different products. Like, is there anything else that you feel like that's been a really great job of like unlocking more value from subscribers?
I think also, like I said, the toddler box, having we now have like three different options that they move through. That has really helped us because people don't graduate out of it as quick. When it was just
Mm,
one box, oh, they're done with preschool, they're done. But now it's like they can move through preschool, toddler, preschool, kinder prep, craft. So they're kind of moving through it for 4 years, technically.
yeah.
And that's really helped too.
And it's really easy to automate that because I mean, within Recharge, if they can
Yeah.
swap products inside the cancellation
Mhm.
portal or inside the customer portal themselves. So that's
Yeah.
really, really good. Kelsey, I'm wondering if there's anything else in your experience that's good, bad, for other mompreneurs out
Yeah.
there or anyone else thinking about starting a business, any advice that you'd want to give to somebody?
Well, I feel like being a mom, so I've had two babies since I started this. So I'm like in the thick of it, And
Right.
I think being able to set aside times where you're working and where you're not has been the most helpful thing for me, And being an entrepreneur, I'm sure as you know, it's like you could be doing something 24/7. Like
Right.
there's never not time. So I've had to really like work to, okay, I'm shutting it off. I'm doing this, then I'm doing the mom thing, and then I'll come back, jump back into it. And again, hiring people that I know I can trust, that I feel like are on my team doing the same thing as me, so that I don't have to feel like it's, everything's relying on me, has been really helpful. And also I think just going with your gut. I feel like it's such like you want an equation, you want
Right.
something for everything. And I think honestly one of the reasons that we've been successful is that I just like think, okay, I'm just going to go for it. I'm not going to wait for it to be perfect. I'm not going to wait for it to be exactly what it should be. I'm just going to go for it. And that's, I think, helped a lot.
That's so interesting because that's how it's been for me too, where it's like, creating content, it's sometimes hard to draw the right numbers or figure
Hmm.
like, is this the right ROI? But at the same time, like people ask me subscription questions all the time. I create content as answers to them.
Yes.
And then people mention the content when they meet me. So, is that directly indicative of like my bottom line? It's hard to tell
Yeah.
sometimes, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like my gut's saying this is what's going to be helpful. So
Hmm.
I can certainly identify with that. And for anybody who's wondering out there, like I've seen under the hood of Kelsey's program, like it's been incredibly successful and continues to grow. Building a phenomenal business, and it's exciting that I get to help out in
Yeah.
a small way and contribute. So
I mean, even like down to the thing that we've been doing most recently is get like projecting numbers, which I'm sure I always hear like inventory is everybody's biggest problem.
right,
And so, but like I tried so hard, like, okay, I'm going to follow this equation, I'm going to follow this percentage. And finally, I was just like, no, every time that I just like look at the numbers and guess, like I'm pretty right on.
there you go.
So that's what I've been doing with my projections. And it's been like very helpful. But I know my husband's like, can you just come up with a new equation? I'm like, I really can't. I tried.
Well, I will say my statistics or an operations class I took in college a long time ago. You're supposed to look back at predictions and to see how accurate you were or not.
That's good.
And so and then you add a core, like if you're always 10% too high, you're supposed to build that into the model. But if you're looking back and you're being accurate, then that system is working. You're not supposed to adjust the system. But yeah. I'm sure as you continue to expand, like it's, you'll add in ops people and other stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But you always want the business to keep the spirit of the founder because that's what allowed it to start. And so
yeah,
that's one of the things I think is great about your brand is like you can see your fingerprints kind of like all over it, from the marketing, from what's going into the boxes, all those things. So
thank you. I'm loving it. It's so fun. It's crazy, but it's fun. I'm loving it.
I know it's a fantastic story. And it's during COVID, a lot of subscription boxes like kind of peaked and then they kind of came back down, but that sounds like it was a launching pad for you and it's just continuing to grow.
Yeah.
For it, so.
I just think the more, and I do think that like millennials, especially, we get fed so much content, on Instagram and TikTok about all these, you see so many moms doing things, and it, in a bad way, can give you some mom guilt, and in a good way can inspire you. Like, what can I do to have my kids feel like that or make my kids feel successful? So I feel like we're kind of always information seekers, like looking for different ways to do things. And so I think that is another reason why it's been successful, is because all these moms are trying to like instill this love of learning and still get their kids excited before kindergarten. And so that's kind of why I feel like it's been so well.
That and the cost of trying to like source all those things yourself and all the thought that you put into it, like, I think there's often like it's a value exchange, right? As a parent, I'm thinking like, okay, do I want to spend like $30, $40, $50 on a monthly box that gives hours of time and learning and attention to my kids? Like, or if I save that $50, I have to go spend 5 hours figuring out all this stuff and going and buying supplies and all these things. It's just not worth it, right?
Yeah.
So
I
think there's a very clear value for people using it. And yeah, it's something that, I know that we spend a lot of time trying to figure out how do we get kids more engaged, get them off screens, get them kind of learning and stuff.
Yeah, especially off screens, especially now,
Right. Well, for anyone listening, the website is learningwithkelsey.com. If you have kids, I highly suggest you go give it a try. Check out some of her boxes. And Kelsey, again, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
And for everyone, that's another episode of Subscription Prescription. Stay tuned for next week's dose.
That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe so that you can get notified when new episodes come out each week on Tuesdays.